Several years ago, I had a profound vision, and it was so real that it changed the course of my life. I believe it was from God. I've never shared it with anybody, but today I want to share it with each of you. Pardon me as I follow my notes because it's so important I get all these elements right. It was one gray and cold January day here in Las Vegas, and I went out for a run. But today, I had decided to run through a cemetery. It would be empty, and I wouldn't have to contend with people or be held accountable or judged for how slow I was running. It seemed like the perfect place to run. As I entered, I was in good running form. I was warmed up from the cold day, and now I was mindless. I found running to be a place that I could always check out from the stress of the world. I could hide, which I liked and was even good at. I was a world-class introvert and even proud that people, they couldn't reject me. I knew how to armor up. If people pleasing were an Olympic sport, I would win a gold medal. I was shaken out of my mindlessness as I saw what looked like a funeral taking place. I stayed away because I didn't want to disturb the proceedings, but I couldn't take my thoughts off of what I saw. It was one casket and only one person had came for the deceased. There were several cemetery workers off a little ways. Only one person came for the deceased. I wondered why. As I began to run, my mind was wondering, and it was engaged in all the possibilities as to why only one person came to the deceased funeral. As I turned away and began to run up and down the cemetery rows, and between the headstones, something became glaring to me. They all had a birth date and a death date. Some even had these little sayings underneath, but they all had a dash in between, a dash to represent their life, a little saying to perhaps give meaning to the dash. I was so overwhelmed by the dash that I began to walk and read everyone's names. The trees, they were without leaves that day. The grass was yellow in dormancy against that gray, empty January sky. And that's exactly how I felt inside. A dash. What was the dash of the person that only had one person attend his funeral? What was my dash? Would only one person attend my funeral? Would some distant acquaintance see my name in the obituary and in a casual thought say, "Oh, Mike Lance died"? Nothing about any of my accomplishments or how I might have helped them. Just a fleeting thought that I had died. Never could a cold, lifeless day have had more meaning in my life. I had hid my gifts from the world. I had not really magnified them and added really any real value to the world. I was always hiding. My dash at that point wouldn't have even merited a small saying on a stone such as, "He was a good man." Wouldn't have merited that. I began running again with this profound sense of hope that I could leave a lasting legacy, a dash that blessed mankind. With these new feelings of hope and this resolve, this warmness, the sun parted the sky And as the sun shined upon me, I knew I would leave a meaningful dash. My dash. An insane, compassionate man who made a difference in the world. What's your dash?